Good evening. The Burke County Board of Commissioners meeting is now called to order. Can I get a motion to accept the agenda as printed?
Madam Chairman, I make the motion we accept the agenda as written.
I second it.
A motion made by Commissioner Nix, second by Commissioner Martin, that we accept the agenda as written. Next item, invocation by our county manager, Merv Waldrop, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Martin.
All right, let us pray. Lord, our God, we thank you for the blessings we enjoy in our country, the blessings of being able to participate in the local government and our elections this month. Lord, we ask your blessing on this board, that you grant them wisdom and all the decisions that are made this evening to be for the better of our community. Lord, we ask you to send rain to our community as we're in near a drought and we need it badly. Lord, we ask your blessings on all of us here and those that are at home that could not be with us. Ask this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Everybody would please stand and face the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on the agenda, the approval of minutes of the meeting on April 12th, 13th, 14th, 26th, May 2nd, and May 4th.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion we approve the minutes for April the 12th, 13th, 14th, 26th, and May 2nd and 4th.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Nix, second by Commissioner Abrams, that we approve the minutes of the meeting on the aforementioned dates. All in favor? Unanimous. Introduction of the new development director, Merv Waldrop.
Yes, Jonathan, you can come on down to the podium. Commissioners and audience, want to introduce to you Jonathan Lupo. He's our new Economic Development Director. He's got plenty of experience from Ware County, also in Douglas County as well. And I'll let you introduce yourself a little bit more to the board. And if y'all have any questions for him.
Have you got us any bites yet?
Sir?
Have you got us any bites yet?
We've got active projects currently, some substantial projects that have come in the past. I mean, I've been here for now about a month and a half, but we do have some active projects that are looking at the region.
Any more questions?
I've got one, and more of a statement. Back last month, you provided the board with a good synopsis of the activity of the authority. They like that. I got good compliments on it, so you made this all look good. Keep that coming. That was
all right. Yeah, I'll probably send something very high level, nothing too detailed, to y'all maybe once a month. I just had a daughter about 11 days ago, so I'm running on about an hour of sleep. But yeah, if y'all ever want to talk to me about something, just call me. We can sit down for lunch and talk individually, and kind of I can give you all details you need.
Well, anyway, welcome aboard, and as one of the board members, whatever we can do to support you to encourage industry to come here, we're willing to work with you 100%.
Sorry, I didn't understand you. I'm sorry.
I said, welcome to Burke County.
Thank you.
And as the board for getting interest here so we can have economic development. Whatever we can do to support you all, we're willing to support y'all 100%.
Yes, sir. And we appreciate that, and that's something that I've seen just in the short time that I've been here. It seems like we've got support from everybody in the community. Community really works well together. I think we all have a clear picture of what goals are and what we want to bring into the community. So I appreciate that a lot.
Okay, thank you and welcome aboard. We're glad to have you. And we did enjoy that report that you sent out because we hadn't received information like that in
Now it's
a
starting to
while.
trend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good trend.
All right, I appreciate it. I'll start getting on that. I'll if there's anything y'all ever want to know, just let me know, and I can give you more information.
All right, thank
y'all.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, Doug Lively, Andy Knox, Watson, and Knox Insurance.
Thank you, Commissioners, for putting me on your agenda today. It was my intent to be here with a proposal for your medical insurance. Unfortunately, as we got to digging into the data that was supplied to you on your renewal with Anthem, there is some missing data that we're not able to produce a proposal for you today. But while I've got this opportunity, I'd like to introduce Andy Knox at Watson and Knox Insurance Agency that I've partnered up with. Andy's going to tell you a little bit about what we can do and hope to do for you guys. Thank you, Doug.
How are y'all doing tonight?
Good.
Good. So, as Doug mentioned, we kind of ran into some roadblocks from a time and a data standpoint. We started April 27th, which was a little late in the game anyways, but given y'all's increase, we were trying to produce something pretty quick just to give y'all at least some market pressure on Anthem. Now, is that going to happen? You know, we were hoping to get some indication while on the way over here, but we've chatted with Merv and the team a couple of times, and we don't want to confuse the situation tonight. I know y'all got to move forward with what you have, but he mentioned a broker selection process. We provided a packet for each commissioner to kind of show you what we would present to you in a broker selection platform. And a lot of it, y'all, you got a big group of people, and you're paying a lot of premium dollars. And there's a lot more data out there that you have available to you, and you can design things appropriately. So I don't want. I know y'all got a full schedule tonight, and we don't have anything for y'all to vote on because we don't have a proposal. But the broker selection process seems like a very good next step, and select a broker that's going to be active and put some market pressure on the whole deal. So. Thank y'all for having us. We included a case study from y'all's friends up in McDuffie County, and that's where I'm from. And I hope you kind of look at that whenever you look at the packet. It's a lot of information. We try to condense it a little bit, but we'd be happy to help try to reduce what y'all have this year if we do get some late information, and be happy to help in any way we can. So thanks for having us tonight.
Okay, thank you very much. Lively, Knox, Watson Insurance. So we'll keep you all on the radar. You just have to keep us informed of what you have.
All right, will do.
All right,
Madam
thank
Chair, and just to let the board know, we've been with Story & Associates for years as our broker. That agency is in the middle of some changes. This fall, we anticipate opening that brokerage up for others to bid on and give us proposals on different options. Even our own insurance carrier with ACCG has indicated that our group has gotten large and we may not fit their insurance pool quite well, that we probably should look at some self-insurance options. But we didn't have time to do all that before our renewal July 1st. So we're going to bring you some options for this renewal, and then in the fall look at brokerage, and then look at a number of firms and some alternatives for our group health insurance. And we'll put this information package in your boxes.
Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda, request to rezone from A1 to R1 on Neely Circle, and that is 10.48 acres parcel.
We have a request to rezone some 10 acres of property on Neely Circle. The Planning Commission's reviewed it. The request is to go from A1 to R1. They held a public hearing. There was no opposition at the public hearing. They want to develop it for single-family residential property. If there are any questions, Scott Lee is here to address any questions you have.
If there are no further questions, I'd like to make a motion to do the rezoning from A1 to R1 on Neely Circle.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
Motion made by Commissioner Abrams, second by Commissioner Martin, that we adhere to the request to rezone from A1 to R1 on Neely Circle. All in favor? Unanimous. Next item, bid opening 2022 LMEG process.
The LMIG program is a DOT-funded program. They use gas tax money to provide funds back to cities and counties across the state. There is a match required, and the match depends on whether you're in a T-SPLOST county or not. Because we're a T-SPLOST county, our match is only 10%, where other counties it would be 30% match. We typically use our LMIG funds. You can use it for any kind of transportation project, but we use ours typically for resurfacing of our roads. So we've put out a bid to resurface Farmers Bridge Road and Haversham Church Road. And we've gotten one bid back. It's been more difficult to get bids through the last few years. That bid is from Reeves Construction. Their bid price, let me see if I can find it quickly. There it is. $1,633,800. $800. $1,633,800 for the resurfacing of those two roads.
You know when they're gonna start that, Merv?
They typically start in July, but it depends on their schedule. Once we award it, and we can handle that at Finance Committee, unless you wanted to go ahead and handle it now. But,
No, I was just curious.
right. And then as soon as we give them the notice, and they get, they have to work their schedule in, get their materials. Typically, they get started. We do this about this time of year, and they usually pay it in July.
Okay, the bid opening for the aviation fuel service for the airport.
We have 3 bids on this one. These are going to be more like proposals than a straight bid, so it's going to take a little analysis. We'll open them and read the vendors, and then we'll prepare an analysis for the Finance Committee meeting.
And
The
just
first
for the
one-
record, Merv, the Finance Committee is at 4 Thursday due to some conflicts.
That's right, 4 o'clock Thursday. Campbell Oil out of Elizabethtown, North Carolina, has given us a proposal. Let's see the second one. The Super Seal. Next one is from Perry Brothers Aviation Fuels, and they are out of Americus, Georgia. That's Perry Brothers Aviation Fuels, Americus, Georgia. And the third proposal this one's double sealed as well. This one is from Southeast Regional, let's see, Titan Aviation Fuels, and it's a Southeast Regional office. Titan Aviation Fuels, and they're out of New Bern, North Carolina.
New what now? New Bern?
New Bern. It's on the coast. And those are the three proposals. We'll get them to our airport consultant to review, and hopefully we'll have a recommendation by Thursday.
Okay, thank you, Murray. Next item on the agenda, approval of the lease with Simbel for office space for the accountability courts.
For a number of years, we've had a lease with Sim Bell for office space for the accountability courts. Mr. Bell has notified us that the rental is going up from $300 a month to $420. Spoke with Judge Cox. He would like to continue the lease at least for another year until we can have some other space come open. He's not happy about the increased price, but he needs a place for the accountability courts to meet. This is the office where his accountability court administrator meets. They do a lot of drug screens. They have to be there after hours, and so it needs a little, like an exterior exit. So the office space in the judicial center doesn't work very well for this kind of purpose. And the recommendation is to continue for one more year with the lease.
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to continue the lease with Mr. Simbel.
Madam Chair, I'll second.
Okay, motion made by Commissioner Abrams, second by Commissioner Nix, that we approve the lease with Simbel for the office space. All in favor? Unanimous. Next item, request to approve revised school resource officer contract with the Board of Education.
We have a updated school resource officer agreement. We've got some representatives from the sheriff's office here if you've got any questions about the agreement.
Any discussion?
What's the manager recommend? I mean, everything good with you?
There are a number of things I wouldn't do if it was up to me. And at 100% of the cost for school resource officers, I believe, should be paid by the school board. They get 2/3 of the property tax, not 1/3 like the Board of Commissioners gets. There's some exemptions in the SRO contract that the school board only pays for time that is school time and not for other time the rest of the year. And there's also, if their vehicles are used outside of school activities, then the county would be charged for the mileage on those vehicles. And so, I mean, that's my opinion. That's not anybody else's. If I was, you asked me what I would do.
I just know the school board the other day, they did some changes, and I kind of, to be honest with you, at work, I got a lot going on. I couldn't get all the details, but
Right.
Madam Chair, I would suggest let's table this till we can all get the details, because I don't think anybody actually has them, and I may be wrong. I can't speak for y'all, but I do know, like I said, we voted for some other officers maybe, or excuse me, the Board of Education did.
Right.
And if that's going to fall on our budget and coming from us, not only that, but as far as the other expenses, maybe we should just table it until we get a better understanding of what's going on.
Any more discussion on this item?
And this will be effective starting July 1st, Merv.
That's what the agreement says, July 1st.
Austin, you got anything, from y'all's standpoint?
Only the time that is school time. If the deputy's time is used for any time other than school time, then the county would have to pick up. Michael, how often do we get bills get questioned that we send to the school. Every single one gets questioned on the time.
So during the summertime, when the kids get out, does the deputy still work at the school even though there's nobody over there? So during the duration of that, the summer school this year run pretty much for the month of June. And so after that, they will work around the sheriff's office for a lot of training, trying to do more of the training in that time. But when they're working there, doing their training, is the school paying for that? Yeah, so they're still paying for that base salary for those benefits. They're not acquiring any overtime. They're still working their normal 80-hour pay period for them. But let me ask you a question. So like when they have football and baseball games and all that going on, so that would be considered overtime, wouldn't it? So initially that was considered overtime, and the initial agreement was that overtime fell on us to pay, and the taker or the citizen taker through the county commission. However, now this new agreement has allowed the school board to take on that fee of paying the overtime for those deputies in their baseball games, soccer, or soccer practice, things like that.
And the benefits are paid by 29%.
Departments want to use the same the same process because of difficulty in finding vehicles. So they may be coming back to you with some solutions to get some trucks, particularly that are hard to find.
Okay, that'll be good.
No problem with that, I don't think, because
No problem worrying about the bid process.
yeah, because dealing with vehicles now is a pain. It is a pain.
Well, if you ain't gonna hold the vendor's feet to the fire, they ain't what's the use of bidding? I mean, you take low bid on something, and then they come back and say, we're gonna charge you $3,800 per vehicle surcharge after you done agreed on the price. I mean, what's the use to bid it out if you're just gonna give in to it? I mean, that's my thing.
Okay, next item on the agenda, approval of transit operation guidelines.
And I've laid a revised transit guideline in front of the board. We had not revised the ridership, the occupancy limit. Prior to COVID, we were at 10 riders per bus load. We wanted to spell out clearly for the public and what the policies for Burke Transit were, and since it's a policy document, it needs to be approved by the Board of Commissioners. So this spells out our standard operating policies. We've had some of our clientele question whether these policies are the rules of the board, and we've said they've been the policies for years. We just want to get the board's approval for these policies. The only change recently was we had gone to 5 riders during COVID. Now that the restrictions have been lifted on transportation, we feel like we can go back to 10 riders.
As long as they have on masks.
We don't require masking in this policy.
Okay, because
We don't discourage masks or
the reason why I
tell
was
anybody
saying
not to
that
wear one.
Georgia is one of the states that the COVID is running rampant in.
That's up to the board, whatever
I mean,
policy
I
y'all
was
want. we
just,
will.
that's just a thought.
Right. That's
that's not no motion. I was just
oh,
saying.
okay. It's up
for the
to
safety
y'all,
of the
whatever guidelines you want, but we'll abide by it.
Okay, Merv, so, Christine, she wants the adoption of the 10 riders
That's right.
per, okay. And also at
It
the
gives her
bottom,
some more
it's-
flexibility on being able to get people
Okay.
to Augusta, and a lot of the appointments are in Augusta, and they bring family members with them, and so they're having to get separate buses to go pick up people with only 5 riders. You can pretty much take 2 clients to Augusta in one bus because the client, and then you got family members with them.
Right.
This way you can take probably 4 clients to Augusta for their morning appointments.
Right, and also at the bottom, it was saying on the case by case, it could change, so it's at her discretion
Right.
if she has to
If
do
there
something
gets to be
otherwise.
some kind of emergency.
Right, okay. All right, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we move it up to 10 passengers per bus.
Is there a second?
I'll say.
Motion made by Commissioner Abrams, second by Commissioner Martin, that we approve the Burke County Transportation Guidelines with the occupancy limit and other aforementioned items. All in favor? Unanimous. Approval of contract with the DOT for funding for the Burke Transit.
The DOT has provided us another contract for the coming fiscal year. State's fiscal year starts July 1st. In the coming year, the state will fund us up to $174,500 to cover the half of the operating loss of Burke Transit. So once the I guess it's monthly, we turn in how much our costs are, plus and take away our fares, and then whatever that loss is, DOT pays us, reimburses us for half of that loss. We use T-Splosh to cover the other half. So it's not, Burke Transit's not costing property taxpayers, but it is coming out of the sales tax that we get from the region. But in order to keep transit going, we're going to need this $174,000 from DOT.
Okay, is there a motion? Any discussion? Okay, if not, motion.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to accept the contract.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Nix, second by Commissioner Abrams, that we approve the contract with DOT for the funding for Burke Transit. All in favor? Unanimous. Next item, renewing the employee group health insurance program.
Well, I'm going to try to keep it as simple because insurance is complicated sometimes. So we've got several options. First is if we stay with the exact same plan, no changes, there's a 28% increase in the premiums, that's the bad news. They originally started in the 30s, and we got them down to 28%. Costs for everything are up, as you're aware. We've had some bad high claims ourselves. The pool that we're in had high claims. So we got 3 things against us, and so we haven't had this high of a rate increase in 10 years or better, maybe longer than that. So Leave the plan the same, we got a 28% increase. Option 2 is to change our deductible from $500 to $1,000 deductible. We've been at $500 for more than 20 years. So we've kept our deductible very low compared to most insurance plans. And going from a $30 copay to $40 copay, if we make those two changes, we have a 12.3% increase. And there's also the company will give us a little flexibility on the breakdown so that we can offer employee and children versus the family coverage. So that saves about 7 employees that just have their children and don't have a spouse on there. So that option 2 is gets the premium is 12.3%. One other thing we'd like to offer as an optional part of the plan is for those employees that want to have a high deductible, and it'd be their choice voluntarily to go to a $2,500 deductible. And for those employees that want a high deductible, it wouldn't be mandatory, but if they can squirrel away some money for a rainy day, then their increase would be only 1% over what they're paying now for the employee and the spouse. So that would be a savings even for the individual coverage, it'd be a savings for employee and spouse. It'd just be 1% increase if we allow that option for the high deductible. That would save the employee from having a big increase, but also save the county offering that option. We may not have the 10 or 15 use it, but that would save that much more on our insurance, having a high deductible option.
Now, Merv, are these deductibles per incident or per year?
Per year.
Well, on the 28% from what they're paying now, what roughly dollar-wise is that going up?
You got that, Michael? It's on the page 2. All right.
It's in numbers 15. That's just employee costs you're talking about. Okay. And now, what Knox and Watson is talking about is just supplemental insurance?
Well, yeah, they were talking about a group health insurance plan, but they don't have enough information to put rates together. Yeah.
Now, are we going to have an opportunity to have a number before the next meeting? This is July 1st also, right?
That's right. But if you are going to do it, you got to have open enrollment.
Okay.
And so it really
Before
is not
July.
enough time. In order to do it right, to give a good look at it, we need to start looking in probably October and find a broker and look at all our options at that point. I don't know if y'all agree if that's, yeah, go ahead.
Again, is this something that we could table? I know we're July 1st is pushing. I'm
Yeah.
asking to save us some money, and like I say,
We could table 2 weeks, but we can't really table much past June 1st because we're going to have open enrollment.
but I mean, if we could have some other numbers, I mean, again, I'm.
Yeah, on the worst case, yeah. Which we're not recommending that as an option. We do want to get a decision made pretty quick because we don't want to jeopardize our insurance program employees.
So the one we on now is the $500 deductible. you said?
Right, we're on the $500 deductible, that's right.
So that's option 2.
Murray, I thought ACCG, they pooled the whole state together.
They pull all the counties that are in their plan. They pull it, but they look at the pool, they look at your individual experience as well. And so, yeah. So, yeah, they're kicking us out of the pool.
But now, we've been with Story for the last 2 years,
No, we've been with Story for
longer than that.
way more than 20 years. So,
Okay.
yeah,
And this is numbers from them,
this is from their
From
antecedent.
Anthem or Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah, right.
But
From
it's
Anthem, and then
still
we've
through
had,
Story.
right. And Lynn Sanders, who's worked with Story and Associates in the past.
Okay, so Merv, you already pretty much recommended that we continue because of the timing issue.
That's
The
right.
timing issue, so, and then in October, we start looking at the
start looking
insurance
at
then.
At
So
all
right
our
now,
options.
we need to
Move forward.
move
That-
forward for the employee's sake.
All right, so Madam Chair, I make a motion that we accept option 2 and offer option 3 for those folks that want the high deductible.
I second.
Motion made by Commissioner Nick, second by Commissioner Lively, all in favor? Unanimous. Next item, budget amendment for Hospital Authority Trust Account.
The Hospital Authority came to us last month with good news indicating that they were starting to break even with the group that's managing the hospital. They've asked us to put the money that we have contracted with to provide them every month, put that in a trust account to be used for capital improvements or improvements at the hospital. The board agreed that's what they wanted to do. We created an account to do that. This is the budget amendment that makes that happen so that we're authorized to move the money. Instead of sending it, writing the check to the hospital, we put the check in the trust account.
Any discussion? If not, let's get a motion.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve the budget amendment for the Hospital Authority Trust Fund.
Motion made by Commissioner Nick, second by Commissioner Martin, that we approve the budget amendment for the Hospital Authority Trust account. All in favor? Unanimous. Next item, permission for the GTP block party at Golf Park, May 21st and 2nd.
Vanessa here.
She's here.
Yeah. Did you want to address it? We've got a request for permission to use the park and golf for block party on Saturday, the 21st, and Sunday, the 22nd. I think the request for the portalets has been removed from that.
Yeah, all we're addressing is the request to use the park.
Merv, do we have anything to where, like, liability insurance or anybody could, if they rent or use something, they have to have liability insurance?
I think it would be a good idea to ask for groups that reserve the park or rent it for bigger events to provide us with insurance. I don't know, that's up to the board whether you want to make that as a policy. I would advise you to do that.
Is the
Can I-
contract
Ms.
that we
Chairman,
normally
can I say a
use?
word, please? Ms. Chairman?
Yes.
Look, I know we got GTP. These are young guys who coming back to motivate the young kids in the community. This is a community event, but you got younger guys who out there trying to do something to come back to motivate the other young kids in these communities who going out doing crazy stuff. And these guys got the head screwed on straight, and they come back to motivate them. and the community, and also golf has a board of directors. Before anybody can do anything, the board of directors, they have to approve it. And we got some liable people on that board for the board of directors for golf. Most young kids gonna use some flashy names, where I might use Lucian, you know, and some people, everybody name the kids now, they got a name, I can spell it in 2 years. This is a community event. I'm really frustrated because we got to pay for the portalets, because people up in golf paying taxes. Gentlemen, they paying taxes. They ain't just sitting up there. And you gonna charge somebody extra money and they paying taxes? Look, I know a lot of us got cabins on the ocean, cabins up in the mountains. These people here in Burke County don't have that. Those little parks, that's all they got, recreation they got. And God put us here to help people who can't help themselves. And we blessed with playing vocal down there, and we don't want to help our people in our community. What we going to church for? Stop going. If you don't help the people who can't help themselves. And my doctor told me don't get upset when I get here, but I'm through with that. Okay.
Was that a motion?
Yes, that's a motion.
What was the motion?
Get your heart right with God. That's what the motion
Okay,
is.
the motion.
Let me and God worry about that. Hey, I'll be glad to donate $100 to golf.
I make a motion that we be able to let the, you want to say something, Vanessa?
Basically, the reason why we're here is golf has been so unorganized, so unincorporated for so many years, and they've been doing things their own way. Since I've been back, and I've been helping golf improvement, we're trying to encourage the people to do things the appropriate way, following appropriate protocol. They could have easily done this thing themselves and gotten themselves probably in trouble if they didn't do it, but we were just trying to do things the right way by asking for permission and not going to give someone in the neighborhood saying, oh, can we use the park status? You know, and then at the same time, you know, like they said, we've already taken care of the portals have already been taken care of. And it happened since I, you know, submitted the letter to you. But we're just here to just, you know, encourage our people to do things the appropriate way so that we can get the help that we're trying to get, to organize ourselves and to at least advance our community as much as we possibly can with the right, you know, networking and pooling together resources.
But you know as well as I do, there's going to be a knucklehead, and not just necessarily this weekend, but somewhere, and that's why we were just asking about the contract, make sure we have liability insurance. Somebody's going to, things have happened, and we need to be protected, the county, the community of golf as well. I mean, that's just part of what we, the society, the community we live in.
Plus two, Ms. Chairman, I talked with the sheriff, and he said he's going to have some of the guys out there to work with these kids. If we don't, I'd much rather work with them now and work with them down in the jailhouse. We got to build a $15, $20 million jailhouse coming up, probably put in this Florida next Florida. Now's the time to work with the kids while they're young, fellas. Now's the time. When the tree get big, Evan, you can't bend that tree, right? Okay.
All right, Madam Chair, I'll second Lucius's motion to approve the use for May 21st and 2nd.
All in favor? Okay, motion passed. Unanimous. Okay, next item, approval of consent agreement with EPD for William Tinley Road.
Well, Commissioners, we have finished William Tinley Road North. We applied for a permit for EPD, submitted the information, but it was the information for William Tinley Road South and not North. And so we submitted, got a permit for the wrong road. EPD went out and inspected, noticed that we needed some grass to get going out there. But other than that, we were in good shape. We had all the silt fence on the north side, and then they got back to the office and saw that the permit was for William Tinley Road, and it was all the drawings were south end. It didn't say William Tinley Road South, it just said William Tinley Road. Okay. But the drawings were for the right-of-way going south and not right-of-way going north. So EPD has sent us a consent order. The fine, they typically give fines in $50,000 to $70,000 fines. This fine is $2,500. It would have cost us that much to get the permit from EPD for the north end. We've got one for the south end if we ever get the right of way. So we'll have to resubmit it at the time we get the right of way for the south end. But the Environmental Protection Division is asking the board to agree to this consent order where we get the grass stand out there and send them a check for $2,500. Are there any questions?
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agreement with EPD for William Tinley Road North.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Nix, second by Commissioner Abrams, that we approve the consent agreement with EPD for William Tinley Road. All in favor? Unanimous. We're gonna get the sign-up list to see who signed up to speak. Okay, we have Ruby Carter, Glisson Road Drive.
Good evening.
Well, I'm not going to stand before you long. This has been an 8-year process. I talked with our present county commissioner, Mr. Nix, for a little bit. But I'm bringing this back before the commission and the road department. What has to be done in order for us on Glisson Road to get the road cut, the grass cut, more than once a year? I know this is a huge county, but the grass is almost taller than the stop sign. The second thing is the concern about the speed limit on that road. It's not a speed limit there. That is a county road. And it's a church that's located off of Glisson Road that has no stop sign, and the traffic is starting to just go into the road. So does someone have to get killed and then a stop sign is put there, or what do we have to do? Last thing is, as far as drainage, when it rains, the water meets together. So there's no ditches on either side of the road. What do we have to do? It's a county road. So I bring that to the commissioner and the road department tonight.
All right, so we do have a public work meeting Monday at 4, and we'll get with Jesse and Paul about the grass and getting you a stop sign up, and then what we can do with drainage.
I will be at the meeting Monday. Thank you.
Well, go ahead and y'all can get the stop sign up before next week, right? Yeah. And then we'll discuss the rest of it with Public Works. I've been there myself. I didn't notice, and that I didn't notice that it wasn't there, but I didn't look for it either. I don't remember.
It is a drive to the church.
But we've got a number of them on private roads where they enter the county road, though.
Thank you, Ms. Ruby, and thank you, Mr. Burke. Now we have Annie Phillips.
Annie, you won't mind letting Barry explain to you what's going on, and then you go from there, please?
Come down, Miss Phillips.
You come down, Ms. Phillips. He gonna give you an update on the road.
You want to come down?
So for years, the county's been dealing with a landowner that has not been cooperative. And they say they're going to cooperate with us, and then they change their mind. Finally, that landowner sold the property to somebody else. The new property owner has been much easier to work with. They did ask that the county do certain things in order to give us the land that we needed to do the paving that we've been trying to do for a long time. Some of those things include the county moving dumpsters from the current location on Cobb Road to a different location. Part of that was to install gates at the end of the part of the road that's going to be abandoned, straighten it out so it can be paved. Another thing was, since we're messing up, there are places where some of the livestock cross that we compensate them by putting water troughs on the side of the road where the animals won't be able to get to what they used to get to. Also construct some fences for them in certain places where they're having to take theirs down. All commonly things that we sometimes do to negotiate with landowners to let us have the land that we need. All those things are in place. We've already sent an agreement to the other lawyer for the new landowner. He seems to be that he liked what we put together. We sent it to him, and we're waiting to hear back from him. But as in the past where we got stalled and stopped, it looks like we actually have someone who's working with us now, and we've already got an agreement we think that they're going to consent to, and as soon as they do, we can begin the process. That's what's going on right now.
Okay. Okay, so I heard a lot of different things, and some of those I do know about. My brother was not able to be here, so I'm just speaking in his place. So, because we want to stay on top of it.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, yes, we know it is a new owner. We have not met with him. I think he wanted to meet with us, but he talked to one person that lives in the community. And so, we just want things to progress. I don't know, like a lot of these things that you mentioned about the trash, and cans and stuff like that moved to the new road.
Different location. Different location.
A different location,
Yes,
not
ma'am.
on the road that we're looking at to be paved.
I'm not sure exactly where the movement was. I just know that, I don't know if anybody else knows exactly where the movement was. I know that there was a request. We looked at it and thought we could accommodate them, and it's one of the things they wanted us to do to pave the road, and so we agreed to it.
So it's my understanding, you're saying maybe at another location, not necessarily
Different
there?
location than they are now is my understanding, yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was one of the requests of the new landowner. So all those things they requested, all of which we agreed to, we've sent it to them in writing and waiting for their lawyer to sign off on it so this board can approve it. And then this project's going on so long, I'm not going to tell you there's not going to be another obstacle because I quit saying that a long time ago. But that's where we are now.
Okay. Well, that's some progress.
Yes, ma'am,
And
I think it is.
So we just, want to stay on top of it and, and just see it through.
Yes, ma'am.
That it, happens. Because that's what we're looking for. Victory at the end.
I'm not going to say which one, but one of them up here on this board calls all the time asking.
I wear him out.
Okay.
He does.
Well, we appreciate
He's
that.
been on top of it.
Even today, I've been on it.
Okay, well, we'll truly appreciate that, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Phillips. Information and report. Mr. Burke.
The road department, we've been doing our normal duties.
We finally got our second trash truck back in operation last week. It's been in surgery for about 3 or 4 weeks. Waiting on parts, get parts, they're the wrong parts, and send them back. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. We'd like to thank the city of Waynesboro for graciously letting us borrow a trash truck for the last, probably going on almost a month. And we got it back to them this week, washed it, cleaned it as best you could to get the dirty stuff off of it. The motor grader was out working as usual. We lost 2 motor grader operators this month. One took a job somewhere else and one retired. So we're doubling up on some of the guys that swapping territories and trying to blaze what we can and keep things going. The right-of-way mower started cutting grass last week. They're moving around. They are in the golf area right now, moving through. The tree limb cutting crews, they're over in the Bill Road area, cutting tree limbs. Shop's busy as usual. Friday night, we stayed out for about 9 hours picking up trees Friday night. We had about 4 or 5 guys. We got home probably about 1 o'clock in the morning. Most of them went back to work Saturday and worked. We didn't work Sunday, and then we started back again today, cleaning up trees. We had probably, at rough estimates, 40 to 50 trees down in Sardis and Girard area. And we think, other than the oddballs that fall after you leave, we think we got just about all of them. The maintenance crew's been busy doing their usual job on new driveways, maintaining the old ones, putting up signs, replacing signs, that sort of thing. The grading and paving crew has been for the past 4 or 5 weeks working on the new industrial site on Highway 80. We are cutting ditches and putting in retention ponds, and so they've been busy. In fact, most of those guys were the ones that picked up the trees Friday night and Saturday. So everything's in full swing with us. And cross your fingers on that second trash truck and she keeps going. Thank you. Y'all got any questions?
No, there is one tree that's down on Ebenezer Road. It's only sticking in the road 2 or 3 inches, but it's on the side. It's
Ebenezer Church.
Yeah, it's a red oak tree, but it's not terribly big, but it's just barely.
And we'll get calls. We've had calls all week. They finally decide to fall. They'll be halfway in the down, and then they finally just keep on falling.
Yeah, this one was not all the way down Friday, but by Monday it was
right.
Down.
Okay. Anything else?
Thank you,
okay.
Mr. Burke. Thanks for all your work and your department's work. Ms. Lacy? Good evening.
Good afternoon.
I just want to give you guys an update on 911. April made 10 months of consolidation physically in the same center, 7 months of consolidation on the same systems. So over the past 10 months, we've taken 52,565 calls. Now, that is not all calls for service, but that is physically answering the phone. 16,042 of those came in on 911. We're really pushing the community to call 911 versus the previous non-emergency numbers, 6651 or 2133 for the sheriff's office, because a lot of our emergency calls come in on those non-emergency lines. On those non-emergency lines that come to us, we've taken 36,523 calls in the past 10 months. We're averaging 4,800 to 5,200 calls a month, with about 2,000 of those on average being calls for service that were dispatched. We are fully staffed with 15. We hired one this week to replace one that we lost, and we're about 70% cross-trained across the board. Other than that, I don't have anything. You guys have anything for me?
Did you say you were encouraging us to dial 911?
Yes, if there is, not on non-emergency, but so Burke County has been unique in that the community and public have realized that if they need fire and EMS with EMA, they dial 6651, 554-6651, because they know that's who they're going to get. Where the sheriff's office, they were calling 554-2133. The city, the 8029. So we're encouraging, if they have an emergency, to dial 911, no matter where they are in Burke County.
Because I try to dial the other number if somebody needs assistance, call both down.
Oh yeah, if it's not an emergency, yeah, absolutely. But if they have true emergencies, some of our most critical calls are coming in on those non-emergency numbers. So we're trying to promote, if you have an emergency, to dial 911.
Okay, Lacey, one day last week, my grandchild and myself, we were in the car approaching that Veterans Parkway and 56. and people were like taking chances going across the street. I said, I need to call 911. But I wanted to call the non-emergency number, but I didn't know what it was. So the only number I knew was 911, and my grandchild said, don't call 911. But I did
That's
anyway.
all you can remember? Call it. That was due to a snake in the transformer box. That's what blew the lights and everything.
Okay. I didn't know what it was because I didn't see the policemen out there directing, and people were like taking chances, cars going in both directions, and they always having accidents out there. So thank you for taking my 911 call.
Yes, ma'am. Anything else?
No.
Thank you, guys.
That's it. Thank you. Okay, Sheriff Norman. Okay. Okay. Okay, Michael.
Commissioners, I'll be very brief tonight. First, on Thursday the 5th, we requested our second payment for the American Rescue Plan. We've already completed that drawdown. We actually did it on Thursday, so we hope that the second half of our American Rescue Plan funding will be here in the next couple of weeks. And second and lastly, the budget process has begun with department heads and elected officials. They're all entering their budget requests. And I'm in the process of calculating salary and benefit projections as well as revenue projections. So budget work session should be coming soon. Our goal always is for the department heads to finish by May 31st, entering their requests. The county manager staff and finance staff to finish our recommendation by the end of June, and then budget work session start in July. Okay. If no questions, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Michael, for all you do. And Merv, thank you. Do you have anything to say?
I wanted to point out Aaron Redmond with the Archway Partnership is here. He may want to give us a report on what's going on with Archway, if you want to. I just wanted to identify you anyway.
Thank you, Mr. Waldrop, and thank you to the commissioners for hearing me speak today. Just briefly talking a little bit about two projects, two main overarching projects, housing and workforce development. And in the past month, we put together two issue work groups, one for housing and one for workforce development, to meet and talk about ways we can address these two issues moving forward in the county. So that's something that's a ongoing project. It's going to be something that's, we're meeting about every month for now, and we'll be hopefully working on those. But we're getting a lot of community members in different areas and different industries working on those two topics. So that's two of our big overarching projects. And hopefully in the fall, we'll be working on intergovernmental collaboration and communication too. So we'd love to have you involved too, but we'll be reaching out to different entities and different people within the county too on intergovernmental collaboration and communication too, for hopefully a meeting, maybe a retreat, if you will, in the fall. So yeah, any questions about that?
No, I just have a comment. I attended the session on workforce development, and you all had the right players. You had the existing industry, the schools, the Augusta Technical College, and some more people that I really wasn't familiar with. But all of the team players who could get this off the ground were there. So I commend you for even getting everybody together, and we hope to see some results that we can focus on with the youth and workforce development. And it's not just youth, because we did an exercise. It can go up to numbers higher than teenagers, and it can really go up to seniors. But
Indeed. Yeah,
the area is kind of
trying to work with a full range. Sorry, I didn't mean to speak over you,
That's
Mr.
okay.
Kelly.
Go ahead.
Yeah, trying to work with a full range of workforce development from very young age to retirees. So, but along those lines, I wanted to say the community has been very receptive, and the involvement has been excellent so far. So I do, it's made my job a lot easier. So that obviously shows that the community is really invested in these issues. So very much so. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, there's a motion that we go into executive session to discuss a legal matter. Is it second? Okay, motion made by Commissioner Martin, second by Commissioner Abrams. All in favor? Unanimous. by Commissioner Martin, second by Commissioner Newcomb, return the legislation. All in favor?